The Encore. Oh God, what the hell was that? Just came out of my vent. Some like aerosol freshener. Oh, right in my throat. What a great way to start this video. Um, there is concerns of a possible development of ice that could be inching further east. Now, last year there was a similar setup that happened, and before any single model showed what I was thinking, you get the picture I'm trying to go with over here. I caught on to it before any model did, simply by not hugging models, for one, because they weren't showing shit, and two, using my head. So I put out a preliminary precipitation map. Um, I know a lot of people probably wondering, I am leaning with the Canadian model, so why am I leaning more towards the West? Well, I'm actually not, but I said I don't like hyping anything. Um, I'm going off of what is currently in the back of my mind. I'm leaving it there at the moment because I don't want to go too aggressive with this map. I like where I have the snow parameter set up. I like where I have the ice parameter set up. And I like how I have the rain parameter set up. However, I am leaning towards a concern of it going further east. That's very true. Don't ask me about why I don't have precipitation going into Louisiana, Mississippi. Listen, I'm Northeast Weather Authority, okay? You should be grateful that I'm doing states in the South. I'm just not going to do every single state in the United States. No, thank you. Okay, continuing on along. So basically, of course, a west or east shift will completely change what's going on. If we have an eastern shift, then there is borderline ice storm for northeastern New Jersey, the fringe of New York City, northwestern New Jersey would just get hammered with ice. And if it shifts west, then central Pennsylvania gets a pretty nasty ice storm. So I'm going to kind of go through this, and I really love what the Canadian is doing because it's going exactly how teleconnections are lining up right now. So while people are busy making a million maps a day, I'm busy doing what's more important, this. You look where the subtropical jet feature is along the Canadian in the simulated IR brightness temperature. And this, okay, is the new run. This over here was the old run. So we did not have this, this connection was missing. This was preventing the subtropical jet of pushing the system further east. It would have allowed it to cut up further west. And if you could look at the two differences, it actually does shift the storm east. No one's talking about it. I don't know why, but I am. Another thing you also have to monitor as well is you have a much more organized British Columbian low pressure cyclone, British Columbian cyclone, and it's further west. This downstream just creates a whole flare that goes off. So the system definitely shows signs of it coming east. Now, if we move along right over here on the total precipitable water, we can see that the high pressure actually shifts a little bit further south and west, and it's also a little bit stronger. If we keep on moving along over here, this is screaming at me. The GFS and the European are starting to cave towards a more eastern trend. The Canadian actually strongly shows what's going on the west coast, that you have a weakening ridge. If the ridge is too strong, the storm will cut west. Their ridge is weakening, and it's proof right there, and the Canadian model is showing that. I love using the Canadian model for, cold air damming events. So that's a pretty accurate depiction, okay? This was the old run, okay? Now, look over here, all right? This is in correspondence to the PNA, all right? That's the old run, new run. A trough is trying to crash into the west coast. So please explain to me how the GFS or the European model is right. Is there like, a freaking magician that's controlling everything? I must be Jesus Christ then, because I guess I can control the weather like I'm a freaking harp station. No, that's not the case. And as you can see, watch how the cold air damming really intrudes. Look at that. You see this over here? And the low pressure, okay, from its old run to its new run, further southeast, old run of cold air damming, okay, new run. It pushes more cold air down, all right? We're going to continue to move along over here. I am looking for a califraction aberration. In plain English, this is basically when I'm gonna try and draw a little bullshit diagram. Actually, maybe I might not have to do that. You see where the water's kind of cooling off anomaly-wise? This is telling me that there is potential energy that's going to be tapped into that ocean. So that energy is already starting to be released very slowly. That's what that's telling me at this current moment. And, the European model tries to get this coastal system, going. And if cold air is coming down like this, and warm air is coming up like this, you are creating a cyclonic flow. Because the ocean, the warm air parcels are rising. So if you have winds coming out like that, okay, and then winds are coming up like this, you have a counterclockwise flow, which is low pressure, and a storm forms out of that. All right, it's very simpy. Wow, good job, Joe. It's very simple physics. I don't understand. Maybe it's because I was like 9 years old and I really got so like deep into meteorology. Like I got ahead of my own game. I got into like theoretical meteorology, like Harvard. Reading all different kinds of stuff. That's probably my own doing. But we're gonna keep on moving along. All right. I said this before. Okay, here's my analysis. The Sunday OZ runs, I will not change my thinking even as of now. I can tell you one thing, the Euro is trying to bite on my idea of a free coastal locking in cold enough to sustain a huge ice threat. When I get the chance to explain my findings, I will, being it can be somewhat complex. Anyways, I want to see the evolution of things and how they play out. The Euro and GFS both seemed, especially the Euro, to struggle for this upcoming event. I really like how the CMC is handling things, as it has kicked ass with the freak ice storm last year, which concerned me days in advance before any model picked that up. I have the YouTube videos on my page. You can go check that out. I posted on Twitter. I posted on Facebook, so you can relive all 4 parts of me tracking the storm almost a week out. Anywho, everything is, of course, in speculation. At this point, I will go and do some digging on my own. So I don't really want to look... I don't really want to look at any other models right now because, man, they're not really exactly in their range for this type of dynamic storm setup. I don't want to really look at the GFS or the European because it's not pinpointing exactly how the PNA is setting up with the conjunction with the AO and the NAO. So what I'm going to do is, after this video is over, I'm going to try and draw a little depiction of the teleconnection correlation, a really rough draft. It's not going to be perfect. So you can kind of get a general idea of how the storm is supposed to behave. So, I'm right now at this current moment leaning for an east lean. I don't see why that's not going to happen. If a west lean happens, I'm not buying really anything until Sunday. Anywhere from the OZ runs, morning, okay? Because this is a very delicate situation and setup. So, you're going to have to wait for me to finalize anything. And I will tell you right now, if anyone is making a finalized map, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot. That's pretty much it. I don't have much more to say. Just keep an eye on my tweets, and thank you for all being great followers.